culture swap.
Swap my culture.
What do we do, Jack?
Liam, this time we watched... Earlier on you said the first 6 episodes. Is it 6?
Yep.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah, so we get The Haunted Mask, which on the DVD is listed as like 1, but it also says part 1 and 2.
See, on the thing I watched, it was just a total... It was all rolled together.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It kind of... So there's another 2-parter, which we also watched, Welcome to Camp Nightmare, which was listed separately. I think... Right, here's what I think. The Haunted Mask was like the pilot.
Yeah.
And
they might have released it as a 40 minutes, but then split it later on.
Because it's also the only one that had R.L. Stine do like a little intro.
Yes, it did, yeah. Anyway, sorry, yeah.
And
so we watched the first 6 episodes of Goosebumps, the TV show.
Yeah. So should we just do them like episode by episode?
Let's do it.
Because like normally we wouldn't do this, but because each one is a completely different story...
Yes.
That makes more sense, right?
Yep, it does. There's no continuity. Gee, I'm really struggling with words today, Liam.
Yeah.
There's no continuity between the 6 episodes.
Exactly. They're just all based on different Goosebumps books.
Yes.
So, we had The Haunted Mask Part 1 and Part 2.
Yeah.
Which was all about Carly Beth.
Yep, it was. Carly Beth, the cowardly girl who was quite reasonable.
Yeah, like everyone was quite mean to her.
Yeah.
And they picked on her, and I remember really liking this book because I
don't remember the books that well.
Oh, I read them all. This was a good one. I think my favourite one was Welcome to Horrorland.
I do remember that one.
It was brilliant, but this was my this was another good one.
Did you feel a little bit like a Carly Beth, Liam?
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
But the basic premise of this episode, if anyone hasn't watched, and we will do spoilers, so don't worry about it.
I imagine someone being upset that we're spoiling Goosebumps Season 1, Episode 1.
Yeah, first aired in 1996.
I was going to get round to it.
Yeah, so, Carly Beth, who's... People play pranks on her all the time. It's Halloween. Yep. She's going to get her money back. She's going to have the scariest costume, isn't she?
She is.
And her mum's made her a costume.
She's only made her a bloody duck, Liam.
Oh, that's not scary, is it, Jack?
Not at all, unless you're scared of ducks.
What is a girl to do?
Apparently, Liam, a girl is going to go to the Haunted Mask shop.
Obviously, which just popped up out of nowhere.
Yep.
Creepy little
As
owner.
they always do.
Creepy guy who's the owner.
Yep.
Something weird with his face.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some masks there.
There's quite a lot. There's quite a big selection of masks in the front of the shop.
Oh, yeah, but one of them's really creepy.
Yeah, there's one in the back.
And...
She's not meant to go to the back, Liam.
No, but she does.
She does.
I mean, it's a bit naughty, isn't it?
Can I point...
Go on,
Sorry,
point out.
I was going to say, at this exact moment in the episode, I believe they started doing special effects.
Yeah.
Because they make all the masks look at her when she's not looking.
Yeah.
And it was at that moment that I was like, oh yeah, I forgot what 96 was like.
Yeah. There's another special effect where her mum makes like a model of her head and it smiles at her.
Oh yeah.
Which is also not a good... Anyway, she's stolen like $30 from her mum.
Yep.
She's found the mask that she wants. She takes it and she throws the $30.
Yeah. The guy says you can't buy this. This mask isn't for sale.
Yeah.
And then she steals it. And she throws money at him, but that is still stealing.
Yes, 100%. And then basically, the mask attaches to her and won't come off.
Yeah, when she wears the mask, she can make... her voice changes without her noticing, apparently.
Yeah.
That's the only perceivable ability she gains.
Yeah. She also
just gets
a
a
lot
bit
more
mean.
like wicked.
Well, not like... But like all she does is be's a bit spooky. Be's... Oh, fucking hell. I'm honestly breaking down.
Spooky.
She be's a bit spooky.
Yeah. What did you think of this episode?
Trash.
Yeah, I didn't think it was very good at all.
I mean... It's literally a girl gets bullied, then she tries to get her revenge, and the moral seems to be, don't try and get your revenge, because you'll die.
Yeah.
Nearly.
There was also a small twist at the end of this one.
Yeah.
Where the little brother puts on the mask at the end after she tells him not to.
Yeah, did we say the mask fused to her head and she couldn't get it off? She tries to cut it off with a knife at one point.
Yeah, she can't. In the end, it's basically a token of love is what it takes to get it off, and luckily for her, her mum made that mould of her head, didn't she, that we mentioned earlier? So,
can I point out?
Yeah, go on.
The head that was moulded.
Yeah. That
smiles at her at the beginning.
Yeah.
And they very specifically show us it smiling, so we know that is haunted. Why was that one haunted?
I don't know.
Because it never comes up.
No, it doesn't. It was ridiculous. It was
weird.
It's so bad. It was not good at all. There was one cool scene where she eats a worm. Well, a worm's put in her sandwich. Yep. And I have a bit of fun trivia about that.
Go on.
This isn't the best bit of trivia I've got, But in this
Isn't
one,
or is?
isn't.
Oh.
Yeah, so according to R.L. Stine's autobiography, the crew were going to use a rubber worm in the scene where Carly Beth bites into the sandwich and finds a half-chewed worm, but Catherine Long, who played Carly Beth, insisted on eating a real worm to make it realistic.
Why?
Make it realistic. I literally just said that.
Yeah, but, like, why?
Don't know.
Weird.
Can I give you my favourite bit of trivia?
Yeah, go
So I'm
on.
just going to read this as it is on IMDb, okay?
Okay.
Like, I watched this episode, hated it, read the trivia, laughed out loud at this.
Okay.
Carly Beth and Sabrina were played by Catherine Long and Catherine Short. It's ironic because they both have the exact first name and also last names that are opposite of each other. One is Long and the other is Short. It's almost as if they two are characters by R.L. Stine because of how unlikely their names are.
Why was that trivia so long?
It was my favourite. I loved it.
That's ridiculous.
That was the highlight of the episode. I want to play a little game with you as we do these episodes, though.
Alright.
I watched this and I pitched this idea to Kat. I was like, how cool would it be for someone to go through the Goosebumps books and do like adult versions of them?
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
there's definitely some like sinister things you can get at here.
Oh, 100%.
And here's the idea I had for the Haunted Mask. Now, I think you could have a better idea. I'm going to pitch my one to you at first.
Okay.
Yeah, the same sort of premise, right? The mum has done her the duck costume. She goes out in the Haunted Mask. And there's a very key point where the mum wants to look at her in her costume before she goes, and she doesn't get to because obviously the mum is expecting duck, but instead she's got like weird green face thing. In the adult version, something would happen, like maybe she'd get hit by a car or whatever. Carly Beth would die, and the mum would be looking for her, but the mum would be looking for the duck costume and would like not realise.
Oh, that's quite good.
Thank Kat said that was shit.
Well,
I thought it was quite good as well.
it's good. It's a good twist. I don't know if the rest of the episode didn't change, it would be quite shocking.
Well, no, you make it a bit more adult in themes and stuff. But
Yeah.
like that was my kind of thought with that. What would you do to make it more adult friendly?
I'd just have adult friendly.
Yep.
I'd have the scene where she's trying to get it off. Her friend gets the knife, cuts into the mask, and blood starts pouring out, and Carly Beth's like all screaming and stuff.
Like dark green blood or something, or
No,
blood.
actual human blood.
Oh, okay.
And then the friend's like, "Oh God, it's fused to your skin." Oh, and then she would never get out of the mask.
Okay, interesting. The next episode, the Cuckoo Clock of Doom.
Whoo-hoo, this one.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So this one, I'm going to do the plot synopsis for this real quickly.
Yep, shoot through it.
As a kid, he's at his 12th birthday party. His little sister's a bitch. His dad buys a new cuckoo clock, not for the kid, just because he wants one. The kid tries to get his little sister in trouble. When the cuckoo pops out of the clock, he twists the head around.
Yeah.
That makes time go backwards.
Yep.
And then at the end, he's like one year old. Apparently, I think they reference the fact that he's one. That he has like inner dialogue that you hear. Now, I don't really know babies that well. I don't hang out with them or nothing. But this 1 year old like was climbing and shit. Can babies climb at one?
Maybe not at one, but then he's a however old kid, 13,
Yeah.
being put, or 12. I think he was 12.
12,
but
yeah.
being put back into a baby's body. Like, I feel like if I was put in a baby's body, I could probably figure out how to get it to do some things.
Possibly. What do you think of this one?
Also trash.
I liked the little sister, like Tara. She proper did come across as a bitch.
One of the things I sort of remember about Goosebumps from when I used to watch it was I always felt like you could tell there was a moral, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if they all have really bad morals to them, and just as a kid, you're just like, I'm aware there's a moral, but I'm not 100% sure what it is, so I'll probably ignore it.
Possibly.
Because the moral for this one was like, oh, don't mess with, don't try and get revenge on your sister, or
were you about to say the moral was don't mess with time?
I was, and then I was like, well, probably not that,
is it?
But like, because it's sort of like, oh, it feels like the lesson should be, oh, your sister's being mean, but actually you can get along if you do this.
Yeah.
And then at the end they're like, oh, the sister has been lost to time.
Yeah, and he's like, I could probably figure out how to go back and get her.
But I won't.
One day.
Yeah, so, great, fantastic.
Yeah. Honestly,
he killed his little sister.
Yeah, I don't know the moral of this one. This one I really struggled with how you'd make it more adult.
Just all the spooky... Oh, there's a particularly spooky scene, Liam, where he has a nightmare that he's running down a corridor and the clock chases him.
Obviously.
Is there something we can do with that?
I think there's more something we could do with, like, time. Like time. There's got to be some sort of, like... kind of spooky time thing we could do, but I don't really know what it is.
No, maybe
Like, this is the one I really struggled.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe he just gets stuck as a baby.
What
That's
if you
quite
told it from the
horrifying.
parents' perspective? Got it. You tell it from the parents' perspective, and they're totally aware that their kids are going like aging backwards, but do not know why.
Oh, that would be quite good.
But and it is like it's still the kid who's turned the head, and that's what's done it. But
It's
the
sort of like
parents just-
Benjamin Button if told by Goosebumps.
Yeah, from a parent's perspective,
Yeah.
and they're like, "What the fuck is wrong with my kid?"
Yeah, fair enough.
Now the next one, this one I've figured out how you make this adult perfectly, but we'll go through the episode first.
Okay.
The Girl Who Cried Monster. I actually quite enjoyed this one.
It was one of the better ones.
I mean, we've got one more to do after this one.
And that one's the best one.
Do you think?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, anyway, so The Girl Who Cried Monster is probably my favourite. Lucy, who basically likes making up stories about monsters and like tormenting her little brother.
Yeah.
A lot of like sibling torment going on here. I wonder if R.L. Stine like has any siblings that he doesn't like. So she's a bit of a bookworm because again, this was before the internet.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, I was a bookworm before the internet.
She's in a group called the what? They got a name.
The Reading Rangers.
That's it.
Also, she's got a little friend, and I had to rewind it at first because I thought they dubbed his voice because his voice was way too high.
Well, they're young. They're young kids.
I know, but it just threw me. Anyway, yeah, she makes up all these stories about monsters. She didn't like Black Beauty. That was the first book we see her read. Then she reads
Yep.
Frankenstein because she fucking loves monsters.
She
Then she leaves her blades at the library. She has to go back and get them, and she finds out the librarian is actually a monster that eats bugs and spiders and
He's
shit.
only a bloody monster.
He's a fucking... oh dear. And then there's a twist. Oh, is there a twist, Jack?
It's such a good twist.
Turns out they're a family of monsters. And they
invite him over for dinner,
Yep. And
then they say
he asks what's for dinner.
and they say
Well, since you
You.
asked, you. And yeah, and it turns out that because they're monsters, they've lived there for so long with no one else knowing that they were monsters, and they can't have another monster around. Might give the game away.
exactly.
Now, I think this was one of the first Goosebumps books I ever read.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had like a trilogy of them, and I'm sure this was like the first one in it, and I fell in love with it. I think I was like 7 or 8 at the time.
Were you hoping that you'd find out your mum was a monster?
No, I just loved it so much. Like before then, I read like a lot of like the Famous Five and Enid Blyton and that sort of thing.
Oh okay.
And this was just it's a whole new world. I honestly didn't know what like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches were though.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was like
Actual jelly.
yeah, not jam.
Yeah.
Until probably like only in the last like 5 years I figured that out.
Oh well, that's far too late in your life. To
It's not something I've really thought about once I stopped reading Goosebumps though. It stops kind of becoming something you encounter in life.
I mean, I've heard peanut butter and jelly.
There's a lot of like Americanisms that I don't know if I fully understood when I was first reading these books.
Yeah.
So how you'd make this one adult, obviously, is she goes back to the library, finds out the librarian is a paedophile, but because she's so young, she doesn't really know how to like contemplate.
I'm not in on this one.
No, listen though, but she's so young, she doesn't know how to like put into words what she's just kind of experienced. So she makes it all up as this like monster thing because that's the only way she knows how to like process what's just happened to her. But her family don't believe her because she's always talking about monsters.
I think you need to just sit in a dark corner by yourself and think for a bit.
Why?
Because you've got problems.
No, this one works perfectly for that, I think.
You can't turn Goosebumps. You can't.
If you're
make
making it
by
adult-
adding a paedophile.
For the Girl Who Cried Monster, you could.
No, you can't.
It's the only way of doing it that makes
It's
sense.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, but this is like for adults.
Yeah, it's still Goosebumps.
Well, my favourite bit of all of the episodes is the opening bit, and then he goes, "Viewer beware, you're in for a scare." Like the books, because they had a reader beware, you're in for a scare on them.
Yeah, very good.
That's my favourite bit. Now we have your favourite episode.
We do.
Another two-parter.
Welcome to Camp Nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, a bunch of kids get sent to summer camp. They go to the wrong one.
I think they go to the right one.
Well, no, aren't they all like confused and then they get lost or some shit?
What do you mean?
I don't know. You're better at explaining these plot lines than I am, Liam.
But they go to Camp Night Moon.
Yeah.
And they just get like dropped off in the middle of nowhere. But it's the right camp and everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just a bit of a shambles. Much like this podcast.
Have to do all these fun camp activities, but people keep getting severely wounded by like snakes and shit, and then disappear.
Yeah. There's a snake bite. Two kids drown. One apparently gets like savagely mauled, but you don't see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all like the camp staff don't seem to care when you tell them that bad stuff's happening.
Yeah.
And then eventually the main kid
there's
tries
a twist.
to escape.
Yeah, there's a twist, isn't there?
There is, honestly, this is why I love this one so much.
Go on in.
So he escapes from camp, he comes back, he's told he has to hunt down an escapee.
Yeah. Which
Picks
is
up the crossbow.
Girl that he likes.
Yeah, he's met her and he's like, we'll escape together. And she's like, well, sure.
Yeah.
He gets a crossbow, refuses to go hunt the girl, and shoots the camp counselor man in the chest.
Yeah.
And you think you're all ready for it to be bad, but wait a minute. It was a government training program all along. And actually...
That's not the only twist.
No, Liam, don't ruin it. Jesus. God. It was a government training program.
Yeah.
His parents are going on a secret mission.
Yeah.
And he's going to go with them. So they had to check that he'd do the right thing in situations.
Yeah.
And it was all pretend.
Yeah,
and
everyone
then
was acting.
Slow pan up to the sky.
Yeah.
Where the Earth is. And his parents say, we've heard that people on that planet can be quite bad. I don't know. It was very confusing. Turns out he's going to Earth.
Yeah.
They're all aliens.
Yeah.
Honestly, the best... At that point, I was like, sure, why not?
See, I thought you liked this one because you could relate to it the most, because you do it.
No, fuck no. No, not like that, though.
Okay, then.
Not like American summer camp.
Yeah, I just thought this one was ridiculous.
It is. Oh, no, it's fully... It is interesting, though, right?
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
That in all the other ones...
Yeah.
There's no, like, obvious deaths or anything.
Yeah.
In this one, 2 kids drown. And
Yeah.
I know that they later reveal that actually, no, they didn't.
Mm.
But, like, how did this show get made for kids and released on, like, TV? Because for a whole part of this episode, because it's 2 parts,
Yeah.
2 kids drown.
Yeah, but they don't really, so it's fine.
Yeah, but that's in the second episode, effectively.
Yeah. I kind of wish we'd done Are You Afraid of the Dark instead.
Well, we'll do that at some point.
Okay, cool. It'd be interesting to compare the two.
Yeah, yeah.
So, how would you make Welcome to Camp Nightmare adult?
You just remove the twist.
Okay.
That's all you have to do, and then this becomes a weirdly adult kids' TV show.
Yeah, it'd be like a perfect slasher, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah.
It's basically another Friday the 13th.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Oh, and yeah, you have the actual monster thing that's hunting them in the woods.
Saber.
You make that real.
Yeah.
There you go. Boom.
Done.
What would you do? Paedophiles?
Well, there is something a bit dodgy about the counsellors, but I probably wouldn't go down the paedophile route. I don't think this one lends itself as easily to that as The Girl Who Cried Monster does.
Sure, right.
I think the way I would do it, here we go, it would be a bit like Battle Royale, of a way, not where they've got to kill each other, but basically it's a camp where parents send their kids to that they just don't want to, like if the kids are bad behaved or whatever, like the parents are just like, I'm sick of having to deal with this brat.
Got you.
So they send them to this camp, and the camp is literally just like a series of death traps.
Okay.
And like, you know, the parents just are aware that they are essentially sending their kids to die.
Sort of like Saw meets Battle Royale.
Yes. Which, that's quite, I like that as a pitch.
Yeah. I don't think Camp Nightmare would come out of that actual pitch by itself, but...
No. But yeah, so it doesn't all have to be paedophiles, Jack. Only the ones where it makes sense.
Sure.
Has this got you wanting to watch more of the Goosebumps TV episodes?
No.
Yeah, I'll be honest, like, I bought the DVD box set a couple of years back, and me and Kat started watching it, and we got up to the Cuckoo Clock Doom, so essentially the first 2 episodes.
2 episodes.
And we just both went, nah.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things that you watch as a kid and you're like, oh man, Goosebumps is good.
Yeah.
And then you grow up and you look at it and you go, oh, Jesus, what a heaping pile of shit.
Yeah,
And I know that there are going to be listeners out there who are going to hear us say that and be like, oh, no, it's not, you're wrong. You go and actually watch Goosebumps again, listeners, because it is not good.
Yeah, I did a tweet earlier saying, revisiting the Goosebumps TV show, which I adored as a kid, I liked some real shit as a kid.
Yeah.
Honest. It was worse than I was expecting it to be.
To be fair, I think I was ready for it to be pretty shit, because the episode that always sticks in my mind is the one where the kid turns into a dog.
Oh, what was that called?
Yeah, I've got no
It
idea.
was something like My Hairy Adventure or something.
Yes,
bullshit
something like that.
Yeah.
And that episode, even as a kid, I was like, this isn't scary or anything. This is just stupid.
Yeah.
So I think because that one's always fresh in my mind, I'm ready for Goosebumps to be a bit crap. But yeah, it was probably worse than I was expecting.
Yeah. I thought it would be quite fun, and it just wasn't.
No.
Yeah, like the next one is Phantom of the Auditorium, Piano Lessons Can Be Murder, Return of the Mummy. For some reason, I don't know if IMDb is listing this necessarily right, because season 1 has Return of the Mummy, which I'm assuming is a sequel, and also Night of the Living Dummy 2.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
No.
Because there was definitely... I remember Night of the Living Dummy being quite spooky.
Yeah, it was slappy.
Yeah.
My Hairiest Adventure was the one where he turns into a dog.
There you go.
Do you remember Stay Out of the Basement?
Vaguely, it rings a bell.
I remember that I loved the twist of that one as a kid when I read it, where basically this girl, I think it's a girl, her dad is turning into a plant.
Oh, yeah.
And it ends with her like seeing his face in a flower, essentially asking for help. Because so I think the dad's doing this experiment, and there's like a plant version of him that's trying to take over his life.
Yeah.
And yeah, that had a good twist to it. When I was a kid, I imagine now it probably wouldn't be so good.
No.
I remember I had A Night in Terror Tower on VHS, and I watched that a lot.
Yeah, I remember that being a big one that people liked.
Yeah, it goes back to the Middle Ages.
Yep. Say cheese and die.
Yeah. I wonder now, like, if I was to go back and read the books, how shit I would find them.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see if the books had fared as badly as the TV series.
Yeah, because
the show definitely isn't helped by the CGI.
No, it isn't. But there's a lot of things that don't help the show. Like the kids, none of them can really act.
No, that's true.
None of the adults can really act either, in fairness.
Yep, no, also true.
Yeah, I thought we'd have a lot more fun with this.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting it to be as shit an experience as it was.
Yeah. What would you give it out of 5?
1.5?
I'm going to agree with that.
Yeah. It's not good.
It really isn't. It makes me wish I could go back to being of an age where I thought this sort of thing was good.
Yeah.
I wonder what has changed.
Yeah, I don't know.
The other thing that is like a bit of a shame is, as far as I'm aware, like kids don't really have like Goosebumps or like Point Horror, like an equivalent of that these days.
Yeah, not that I know of.
No, and like even TV shows, like, you know, you had Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark? I don't think there's really any kids shows that are doing this sort of thing either anymore.
No, and I wonder if it is that it was a thing people tried to do because they were like, well, people love these Goosebumps books.
I mean,
I wonder, because now that we're looking at them and hating them,
yeah,
right? Maybe everyone that worked on this series, these 4 series or however many it is total.
Yeah, it was 4 seasons of this.
Maybe they were all just like, well, this is complete shit, but kids are fucking loving it.
Yeah, possibly.
And now all those kids have grown up, and the ones that were like, I want to start a cool TV series, then went back and were like, oh, I'll just rewatch Goosebumps to get my juices flowing. Then sort of watched Goosebumps and went, oh god, no, I can't inflict this on the world.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Is that are we done with Goosebumps?
I think we are. Honestly, I think I want to be.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Yeah. And obviously after this like shockingly awful experience, we're shooting high for the next one, right?
Yep. What are we doing, Liam?
On the next episode of Nerd on Nerd, we will be discussing, as recommended by regular listener Amanda, we're doing a graphic novel called Black Hole. Now, I've just had a little looky-loo on Amazon about this one, right?
Uh-huh.
And check this bullshit out, Jack. I can get it in paperback format, £23.16.
That's quite expensive.
Hardcover, which you know I hate reading. I had to read Nameless in hardcover. It was... I had to get it out of my house. I hated it that much. £16.59.
Yeah, what the fuck is that about?
Odd. That's what that is. That's odd.
That is weird.
So yeah, we're doing Black Hole. I know nothing about it. I think it's about like STDs.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah. Which is a topic I'm not very familiar with.
Nope.
I imagine you're a bit more of an expert than I am.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Riddled.
Yeah, if it was like friction burns, I could relate. But this, I'm going to struggle.
Well, I don't think you have to relate. I don't think you have to have had an STD to read a graphic novel about STDs.
Well, let's find out.
That's true.
When Amanda,
our reviews next week could be no. It turns out you did need to.
Yeah, when Amanda did recommend this to us, she did say that she hated it.
Yeah.
But she would be interested to hear our critical take on it, and she said that she thinks it just wasn't for her.
Yeah, did we get the impression she thought it was for us?
Yep.
Uh,
That's what I'm reading from that tweet.
okay.
She's going, it's not for me.
You
It's a
two.
bit juvenile. But you two probably
Right
love
up
it.
your street.
Yeah. So thanks for recommending that, Amanda. If other people were listening and they were like, I've got the perfect thing for them to do, how do they let us know?
If you want to get in contact with us, you can tweet us at nerdonnerd. You could email us at nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com. You can go on our Facebook at facebook.com/nerdonnerdpod, all one word, and leave a little message there. Where else can they message us, Liam?
YouTube. You can leave a comment on a YouTube video. If you just look up Nerd on Nerd, all one word, that'll take you to us.
Sweet.
And then if you subscribe, you'll never miss a Nerd on Nerd video again.
That's true.
You could leave a review, a rating on iTunes.
Yep, we'll accept anything above 5 stars.
That would help us.
If you want to give us less than that, you can. But we'll be sad.
If you're a fan of the show, that just helps us basically. I don't really know how it works.
I like that you tried though.
Like other podcasts say it helps them, so I don't see why it
we've
wouldn't help
heard from
us
other
as well.
podcasts that getting good reviews is good.
So we want some.
Please.
Why should they have all the good reviews?
Yeah, it's not fair that you guys keep giving all these other podcasts good reviews and you refuse to let us have any.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, Liam?
I think me and you should read Goosebump books and then write adult versions of them together.
Bye.
Bye.